What's up, everybody? Oh, lurk while you work. Yes, that is a good strategy. I will work while you lurk. Sorry I'm late. I was busy getting my beautiful new... Let me see this. I'll spill it on myself. It's hot. This is my new tea steeper, and it's got a little... I'll show you when it's done steeping, but I'm steeping some beautiful green tea right now. So that's what's happening. And it's a sweet mug. Very excited about it. So I've got some mango green tea today, which shall be delicious. It'll probably be done steeping in like a minute. Oh, and I just spilled some. Cool. Yes, tea time for our Zen Garden experience of pYanodon's. It's going to be great. But we've got some updates to look at. Most of these don't matter. I mean, I might as well update everything, but most of them don't matter for us. This one, we should take a look at what's changed in pYanodon's raw ores. New icons for glass. Add a new chemical science recipe for molten lamp casting. We're not going to see that for a long time. Fixed a crash when pile's not installed. That's irrelevant. Okay, loader's modernized. Has had 2 updates. Identifier to split lane loader icons to better distinguish them in the upgrade planner, and corrected a typo. Those are all good things. Don't mind that. And nothing else matters. So we'll just update it all because we can. I'm not going to disable advanced fluid handling. I mean, there's really no reason to disable it. It's not causing any problems unless you use it. So I would, at most, I would just refrain from using it. But I plan to play with it, see if I can reproduce the same bug just to provide more evidence of it, and I'll probably clip that part of the stream and then send that over to the dev as well, just, you know, to provide that feedback. But we'll see if that's still a problem, because that is something that was on the list for today, was creating the advanced fluid handling setup, like the crafting of everything. So I'll probably set that up and, you know, just not actually use them until they're more stable and not deleting liquids randomly. That will be nice. And I think today we're switching the music. We're going back to it. You know what I might do, Bunny, is just turn off the hotkey. Though I guess if I maybe that won't work. Can you rotate them without the hotkey? Are we back? Rip in pieces. The stream. I think we're back. Are we back? He's back. All right. Yeah, I just had a weird video card glitch. It happens every blue moon. All my monitors go black, and it takes a second, and then they come back, you know, because like something's going on with the video card. I don't know exactly what it is. Couldn't tell you. But anyway, let me get my tea. It's done steeping here. So yeah, the cool thing is the lid. You can put the little tea steeper thing. You know, it's got like a mesh bottom, and so you can then put that on the lid when you're done steeping your tea, and now you just have a beautiful glass. Well, it's not glass, but like look at it's got like little mountains and trees on it. It's very zen. It's a very zen mug for our Zen Garden times in pYanodon's. I'm very happy about that. Anywho, yeah, I don't know what's up with that graphics card glitch that happens sometimes. I hope my graphics card... Oh! Ooh, look at this! New update. Literally in the last 30 seconds. Added... no. That was already there. What? Interesting. We already did this update. I'm confused by this. Anyway, back to the pYanodon's that we're playing. Advanced fluid handling is something I was planning on doing today, but we might not be able to actually use it because of the issue, which I'm sure we'll talk about. And I was talking about music. Yes, we're going back to the low wave times. And we're gonna go sound. So this is bad. So the issue is Factorio, mixed with maybe my hardware. I won't act like my hardware is perfect, but I never once had this bug before Factorio Space Age, and I and many other people are now having this bug. And frustratingly, the devs have just blamed my graphics card when I've brought it up. I brought it up in the beta Discord, and they're just like, well, it must be a bad graphics card. You know, I had that problem, and I replaced my graphics card, and everything's been fine. And it's like, well, but explain why I never once had this issue in my entire life with this graphics card for years of playing Factorio, thousands of hours, and now I'm having this issue. What's weird, though, is I haven't had the issue for a very long time. I had the issue a few times playing Space Age before, and now I'm not having the issue at all, and I haven't had it for weeks and weeks and weeks. You know, I played through my 100-hour Space Age playthrough. I don't think it happened once on stream. It had only happened a few other weird times, and now all of a sudden it's happening again. I have no idea what mixture of hardware and software issues is causing it. Again, I'm not saying my graphics card is perfect, like there's something going on, but I don't have any crashes playing any other games. I don't have any artifacts playing any other games. I don't have any issues generally with it. And so something is wrong with Factorio that's causing things to be less stable than they should be, in a way that causes this crash. And then OBS gets all uppity with, because it's like it causes like a reset of the graphics card real quick, and then OBS gets uppity about it is part of the problem. You know, I wonder, MSI Afterburner's closed right now. I wonder if that's the problem. I don't know how that got closed. Maybe Afterburner saves it from happening somehow. What's funny though is I don't have any special settings on Afterburner except a fan speed curve that's user defined. Huh. Well, shoot. I'm now concerned, and I don't know what to do. I guess I mean, I'll try starting the game up again, but I feel like it's just gonna crash again. I mean, we'll try it, but 2 crashes in a row makes me think I should probably restart my computer at the minimum. We'll try one more time. Dave, I don't know exactly what the issue is, but it is a Factorio issue that is only started occurring since Space Age and 2.0 for myself and for other people who have had the same issue. It's a hard crash of Factorio. It resets all my monitors real quick. It like probably resets the graphics card, which is why OBS dies and the stream stops. And it says something about like graphics card has been removed or whatever, and I've seen plenty of other people having the same issue, and the devs have not owned that there's something wrong with Factorio at least in the beta Discord last I saw. Maybe they've changed their opinion by now. But something's going on with Factorio to cause this crash, mixed with maybe a hardware issue as well. But it's weird when someone blames your graphics card for being the problem when it's like, I have no visual artifacts playing any other games. I have no issues playing no other games crash. You know, my drivers are up to date. Everything Factorio worked for thousands of hours before with this graphics card with 0 crashes due to graphics card. So it's like something's going on with 2.0 that changed that makes crashes much more likely to happen with the smallest of maybe hardware hiccups or something. I don't know exactly how to phrase all that with technical jargon, but basically systems that were very, very stable before are now no longer perfectly stable for Factorio. And I think some of that is Factorio's fault, but probably not all of it, because I doubt it would crash for no reason if the graphics card was perfect. So I'm thinking there's some sort of small hardware instabilities that previously didn't cause Factorio crashes that now do. And that's what's causing this issue for me and some other people. That being said, I have no idea what causes the crash. I have no idea how to prevent it. I played my entire Space Age playthrough without it crashing. So I don't really know why it just started back up now. Of all times. But it might be done. I'm scared to play now. Ah yes, we were looking at tar production. Maybe we'll be okay. Alright, are we back? Is everyone... Are we back on YouTube? Make sure both are working. I think we're back on YouTube. Yes. You're right, Path of Exile was crashing regularly. That's true. Yeah, maybe my graphics card is dying. That would be a huge bummer. It's relatively new. It's a 4060. So that would be a pretty big bummer if it was having that type of issue. I'm really concerned that this is going to keep happening. And if this keeps happening, we're going to have to buy a new graphics card or something. I don't even know what to do. There might be some other options, but there might not end up being a stream today if I cannot figure this out. I really don't know what's going on. I never had this issue before. So again, it's a mixture of Factorio 2.0 changing some things with maybe what is a bum graphics card. Which I don't remember if I said this before or after it crashed, but that would be a huge bummer because it's a relatively new graphics card. It's a 4060. Maybe I'll finally make the transition to Ryzen. But yeah, I don't know what is going on here. Let's launch Factorio. See what happens. Feel like it's gonna crash again though. But I restarted my computer. So restarting the computer hopefully magically fixed it, but obviously I'm still very concerned. I see no reason why those crashes should be happening in the first place, so they're very concerning. I wonder if it was the fact that I had Spotify open. It wouldn't make any sense, but I still wonder if that's the case. Okay. Well, I'm not hopeful yet. I mean, I haven't changed any settings. I'm trying to think if anything's changed since our last stream. Nothing's changed. Literally nothing. Like, I can't think of a single thing that's different. Other than the fact that it's been a couple days. Yeah, weird. Let me try booting up. I'm gonna let it run for a couple minutes and see if it works. And then I'm gonna fire up Spotify and start playing music again. And see if it crashes really fast. And that would just be the weirdest thing of all time, of course. But you never know. Computers are weird. So that, I guess, could be the problem. Hello, Andar. Welcome, welcome. Now, why are these not running? I guess because we're still making a bunch of trees. Because this is running full time. Okay, well, it's ran for like 2 minutes straight now with no crashes. Now I'm scared to start up Spotify, but I'm gonna do it. Wouldn't that be hilarious if somehow Spotify running at the same time, minimized, was causing Factorio to crash? Or, more accurately, was causing my graphics card to cause Factorio to crash. Or the computer restart fixed it, maybe. Because we seem to be okay. But I'm scared to start recording. I feel like it'll just crash on me again. As soon as I start. Alright, we seem to have stability. Let me fire up Caster Labs so we can get the chat overlay going. Alright, that should be live here in a moment. Well, no crashes yet, so that's good news. Good news, everyone. I need to get lamp coverage around the base going. Alright, and then... Right, we need wood, which we don't have. Okay, I'm starting to believe we might be stable again. Goodness, what a crazy thing. I have no explanation for why it's happened. Wait, how do we... Oh, okay. It has to go on this belt. Okay, we seem to be stable. I'll give it 2 more minutes before I fully commit. Uh-oh. Oh, I see what's happening. We need to not be going onto both sides of the belt here. Also, that's just wasting more spoilage. Alright, is chat working? Yes, yes it is. Perfect. Okay, well, there's definitely good news. Good news, everyone. Alright. Pick up all the flora on this belt. So we've only got it on the one side of the belt, so the spoilage doesn't mess us up. This is a long belt. Alright, what else we got? We still got some more. And that's the fresh stuff. Alright. What's up, Wascally? You're just not into pie at all? That's fair. Not everybody is, but I think it's pretty amazing. Alright. We'll find something to do with all this flora, but for now I'm just ditching it. Oh yeah, and didn't we... I have some thoughts. Ugh. There's no way to guarantee minimum freshness. So it is possible we end up with fluorospolinin in these buildings. Which means it's possible fluorospolinin ends up here on this belt. Which means, just to be doubly safe, I should put these down. In case of spoilage in the building. Which actually will happen eventually, yeah, because it grabs enough. Ugh, so many issues with spoilage. So many ways it can go wrong. Alright. I think I'm confident enough we can actually do the recording. Jeez. Oh man. What a crazy glitch. I don't really know what fixed it, but I'm glad it's over. Hello everyone, Krydax here, and welcome back to pYanodon's. In our last episode, we did some stuff and some things that I can't remember because it's been a few days. No, I'm kidding. Sort of. We got trees going, I do remember that. So we're gonna need to finish that system and get the logs and wood routed up to here so we can run our science non-stop, which is gonna feel really nice. And the science build we had uses 1.8 wood per second. I don't really remember how much wood per second we had gotten. And then there's quite a few things we need to put on our to-do list. One of them is figuring out advanced fluid handling. The problem is there might be a bug with advanced fluid handling right now, so we're gonna have to play with that. And when I say there might be, I'm like 99% sure there is, because some of my peeps in the Discord were telling me it's currently broken, and you can delete an entire fluid network pretty easily, which is not a good thing. So that may have to be something we do later after the bug is fixed. But yeah, so our build here, we have the ability to make 1.5 wood per second. That's nowhere near enough. Because that's not even counting how much we need to make the tree seedlings. Because 3 seedlings makes 6 logs, and 6 logs is going to make about 30 seeds, maybe like 25 seeds. And 25 seeds is going to make about 75 seedlings. Okay, so it's a pretty small percentage then. 3 to 75 is a pretty big ratio. But still, 2 of these is not going to be enough, especially if I want to be running buildings off of wood. Yeah. I'm going to take that away for now because I think it's only causing slowdowns. Well, we need this system to really be fully automated, and that's just, unfortunately, I went for making 50 trees first, and I don't think that was a good decision. But once the 50 trees are done, the seedlings will back up to here, and things should be fully automated and good to go. And the seedlings that could spoil will be happy to be returned along that route, so that should be okay. The seedlings could also spoil inside of these, so I probably should only have... Excuse me. I probably should only have these buildings... these inserters running if log is less than, I don't know, 20. And then we're measuring this belt. No, not that. Wrong log, that is recipe log. Oh. That's annoying, but you're right. Gotta be careful about that. So, can you select every recipe as a signal? Is that just now a thing? What happens if there's a... Why is this so confusing to my brain right now? Because every item is also a recipe. Or has recipes. So then... you didn't have chat to warn you. Yeah, I remember you running into the exact same thing. I lucked out by having viewers. Anyway, I don't really know. Yeah, I guess the recipes have to be available as a signal to be able to set symbolers. But I hadn't considered that those same signals might be used just as generic signals. But I guess it makes sense. You'd need to be able to do all the... A signal's a signal, you know? It's like it either works everywhere or it doesn't. And so it kind of needs to work everywhere. For you to be able to do combinator stuff and everything. I just hadn't even considered it. Okay, so I think we're good then. Those won't run if we're starting to get backed up on logs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Basically, if we're past here with logs, then those will stop inserting. So that is totally fine. That will prevent seedlings from getting clogged up in these, so I shouldn't have any tree seedlings coming on this belt. We could... But I don't really think we need to, given what I just set up. The only way this goes wrong is if we run out of ash, which we totally could, but why don't I just go grab some more right now, and that problem will be so many hours down the road. We'll have a lot of new ways to deal with it by then. So we'll just go grab some ash and call it a day. And then we're gonna work on advanced fluid handling, though that is a bit of a bummer. Like I said, there's a bug where it will delete the fluid contents if you like rotate one of the things. So I'm hoping that gets fixed soon, because I do really like advanced fluid handling, and I want to use it for my tar processing. Oh wow, we lucked out. Those barely fit. And tar processing is a big thing we're going to be setting up soon. In fact, I'm going to put it there. Tar processing is a huge deal. It's how you get all of the early game, like, fluids, and how you end up getting creosote and other things I can't remember the name of. Aromatics, creosote, and pitch and anthracene oil, and you can use pitch to make coke, and then you can get naphthalene and light oil. It's all a fun mess. Yeah, I should maybe automate engines too. Is that worth automating right now? Probably not right now. What else do we need to do? I don't really know. Let's work on the AFH thing, because that's easy enough. Yeah, it sounds like the AFH issue is only when you rotate a certain pipe a certain way, so we might be able to still use it if we're careful. Alright, and then our bus is a mess, so I don't know where to pull the plates from, because I don't have splitters. Oh, I don't have splitters. It's so sad. It's very sad. What's up, Simon? What's up, B. Jonas? Welcome, welcome. I don't need bricks over there. What am I doing? I only need iron. So why don't I just put it over here? Let's think for a moment. Is that really where we want it? Yeah, this is kind of a mall area for now. This is the early mall. So this is a decent spot for advanced fluid handling stuff. So I'll put the iron over here, and I'll maybe switch out the iron with wood. That should work. And then that will fuel the buildings, the assemblers. And then wood is on this belt. Maybe it looks like things are actually running now. Sweet. Perfect. Okay. So then I should just be able to connect this belt up. Do I have electric inserters yet? No. Do electric inserters dream of Android sheep? Or something? Something like that? Ah! Yeah, thankfully they're not burner inserters. They just are infinite inserters. Which is very nice. Alright, we'll just bring the wood over here. We can lose this building. I guess we can just do this. And that's wood. But no, we just screwed this up. Thought something felt wrong about that. By the way, the music has changed. You're not crazy if you're like, wait, this isn't Factorio music. It is not Factorio music. This is my Low Wave Times playlist. It is all Low Wave Records on Spotify. And the reason I use Low Wave Records is because they are royalty-free music for content creators. So it's super nice for Anyone that's a content creator, I highly recommend. There are some other record labels that are also royalty free. So Low Wave Records is not the only one, but it's probably my favorite. I think the Factorio music just gets a little old for me after a certain amount of time, so. How am I still screwing this up? Okay, this is supposed to be wood only. There we go. There we go. All right, and then that works. Sweet. Okay, so for advanced fluid handling, you don't need more than one of anything. It looks like you do at first, but as long as you let things buffer, you'll be fine. So for those who haven't played with advanced fluid handling, you're about to have your mind blown. It is amazing. You can automate all of them. I personally don't use... There's a few of them that I just would use so infrequently, I don't find it worth making them. That's the 4-to-4 pipe, the 4-to-4 underground, or just the plus junction. I use these 3 and these 2. And basically those 5 are all that I make. The 1-to-3s have their moment where they're useful, but you can pretty much emulate a 1-to-3 with just having 2 1-to-2s. You can emulate a 1-to-3 by just putting a T-junction between your 1-to-2s. So you don't really need a 1-to-3 very often, you know, and I'd rather have fewer items. So generally I use these 5, and these 3 I don't use, and that one. The 4-to-4 is kind of crazy. I forgot the 4-to-4 even existed. I can't even really see a huge purpose for that. But the 1-to-4 is also one of those things where it's like, when would you use that where you need to connect underground in 4 directions at the same time? I don't know. Regardless, you need to make these 3 kind of core parts: the swivel joint, the pipe coupler, and the underground pipe segment. And then these require pipes, and then all 3 of the things. These do not require the swivel joints because they don't swivel. Like, these allow you to connect underground in a different direction. So these 2 only require the pipe coupler and the underground pipe segment. You can, if you do want to make 2 assemblers of making something, it would be the underground pipe segment. But like I said, if you just let it run, it works fine without needing, yeah, you know, just without needing to worry about not having enough stuff. Just let it buffer. It'll be fine. Okay, so we need to make pipes. We need to make these guys, and then these 2 guys, and then I will... That's not gonna work, is it? No. What's the easiest way to do this? Probably a sideways inserter that goes up onto it like that. And then we do this. So now we've got the 4 types of things. These ones can make the underground I, L, and T. And then the other 4 are needed to make the 1-to-1s and 1-to-2s. 1-to-1s are basically what we have already, but imagine if I could turn the direction so that instead of connecting this way, it went up this way. So these 2 could be connected to each other. So that alone is like just an amazing part of advanced fluid handling. I absolutely love it. We're gonna have to do some sort of squiggly squoo right there. And I believe this should do it. Except I'm lazy, so I actually want it to all be in a straight line. And then I'll have these do the squiggly doodad. And then we're gonna need to feed wood in. I just remembered that. Shoot. Maybe we do wood right here. And then feed in. Is it faster for me to do the rotate button 3 times? Or is it faster for me to place it and do this? I mean, I'm not used to that yet, but I'm not really sure. You could design around using only the 4-to-4. I mean, you could. It would be... I can't really imagine a world where that's going to be that much better. Maybe. Yeah, I mean, anywhere that you can use a 1-to-3, you could also use a 1-to-4. You'd end up with a lot more accidental connections. With the amount of pipe spaghetti I end up with, I feel like the 4-to-4s are more of a liability than they are a help. But yeah, the advantage would be fewer items to carry around for sure. So anyway, this is making pipes. This is oh, I need small parts. Why did I not look at that? Completely missed that. Just 100%. I saw it at some point and just ignored it, I guess. So then why don't we move this over here, and this one can be regular pipe. And then that way we can feed in the small parts from this direction. And then we'll pick these up. And so that they're all on the same side. Forgot all those inserters. Yeah, if you don't perceive them, they can't hurt you. Small parts aren't real, they can't hurt you. And then I'm gonna let these all buffer up to 100. I'll let these in particular, the 1-to-2s are the ones that you end up using the most of. Because, well, I don't have any yet, so it's kind of hard to explain it. Let me just craft a few of all of them so we can demo. Also, Taronin, how do I do the bug? I want to make sure I understand exactly how to do it so we don't screw it up. What's up, Carstep? We switched to Twitch. I should be live on YouTube as well. Should be both. Okay, so anyway, these underground eye extend. I need to remember my hotkeys. Does anyone want to open up one of my Pi Season 2 saves and tell me what my hotkeys were? I think it was this and this. No, that's not right. No. Shoot. I don't remember what my hotkeys were. This is where splitters will go when we have them someday. What were my hotkeys? I think this one is the 1-to-2. And this one might be the L. Because I think 1-to-2s and L's are the ones I use the most. I stopped using the regular pipe to grounds forever, which is a little annoying because they are... Oh, they're not an ingredient in anything. Why did I think they were? Okay, so yeah, we can just forget about them forever, basically. Because they don't get used in anything. Does FNEI say the same thing? Yes, okay. So we will never see pipe to grounds again, because I'll just have these 1-to-1s. But anyway, so the way that this works, now that we have it, is they, by default, are going in a straight line, but then you can hit Control-R, and, oh, this is annoying. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, that's really annoying. Uh-oh. Oh, I'm just sad right now because of... Okay, let me tell you why I'm sad. So Rygaard has said he's not going to make Pipe Visualizer for 2.0. Hey, Sviplet, 5 months. Thank you so much. Very appreciated. So Rygaard has said he's not making Pipe Visualizer for 2.0. And you might say, well, that's fine. Pipe Visualizer doesn't need to be made in 2.0 because it's already in, it's just already in the game by default. Look, you're visualizing pipes. But it's different. Pipe Visualizer had hotkeys. This is a different thing, and now you can't see the pipe when you hover over it. And so for advanced fluid handling, you can't see what direction that little arrow is going as you're rotating it around. Now you can over in the sidebar, so I'll just have to get used to looking at the sidebar, I guess, but that's really annoying. And I'm not sure if there's any way we can fix it, which is a bummer. Yeah, I'm secretly hoping Rygaard will change his mind and eventually someday make Pipe Visualizer again with all of the features that Pipe Visualizer had, the exact same functionality, because I actually don't like that it's always on in Factorio 2.0. It's fine for small, it's one of those things where, again, I think it's fine for baseline Factorio, but for super crazy modded pipe spaghetti, when pipes are all over your base, you're just seeing the pipe networks flash on screen all the time when you randomly are running around and your mouse crosses over something. And I actually think it's visually distracting. Like, I don't want to always see the entire pipe network flash into existence when I mouse over a pipe. I assume I can turn it off. I don't actually know if you can even turn off the Pipe Visualizer mode now, but I assume you can. I haven't tried yet, but if you can't, I'm doubly frustrated. If you can, I'm only just sort of frustrated because you can't control it with like a hotkey or something. I'm not seeing a setting. Is it like one of these settings? Is there a toggle for it? Does it turn off if you turn off alt mode? No, it doesn't even, it's not even tied to alt mode. It wouldn't be in mod settings. Yeah, maybe I'm missing it, but by the way, I'm just gonna say this now. A ton of people have asked me about this. How do I have my inventory so that these are two separate tabs? And the answer is flat character GUI. Turn that off. Anyway, yeah, I'm a bit concerned about the Pipe Visualizer change being always on and not configurable to be hotkey based and stuff. That feels a bit too aggressive almost. To be like, you'll see this and you'll like it. So I feel like I'm missing a setting for it. But I don't know where it would be other than interface. That's where all these settings are. And I don't think any of these have pipe in them. It shouldn't be the rest setting, but you never know. The word pipe doesn't show up, so probably not. Neither does visualizer. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this. That feels like a pretty strong feature to force always on for everybody always with no option. That doesn't sound good to me. I mean, the fact that you can't even just turn it off in the settings feels weird. Because surely not everybody likes it. I think a lot of people like it. I'm glad it's on by default. I very much appreciated it in my Space Age playthrough and had no complaints about it. But for a mod pack like pYanodon's, I'm not sure I want it on all the time. And I just miss the old pipe visualizer mod, and I'm missing it even more right now, and I'm really sad. I don't know what to do with that sadness. Anyway, let's move on to the glitch. Let's see if we can understand what not to do. So we've got water here. This is a good example of something we can delete for free. Okay, I just muscle memoried this. I definitely have these on shift 4. So then is that gonna delete it? Why does this not have any water in it? That's the first question. Oh boy. We've got all sorts of glitches with advanced fluid handling. Oh, right, the pipe braiding thing. I forgot to check that. I have to restart the game real quick. Yes. Let's BRB. Alright, so we gotta change that. I never would do pipe weaving anyway, so I have no desire to need that. No need for that. We shall hydrate with our mango green tea. Today's drink of choice. Soon to be water, because I'm running out of mango green tea. Good news is, game hasn't crashed again. Bad news is that means the crash will happen randomly, and I won't have any idea why. Okay, and we are back. So the reason it wasn't connected is because of that braided pipes setting in pYindustry. That means I need to change my initial save for syncing mod settings, which I have uploaded on my Discord, by the way. If you want to have all the same settings, I'll need to change that one. Okay, so anyway, these are now working properly. But then if I rotate this, you're telling me, yep, it just yeets the entire contents of the pipe network. Cool. Okay. That's bad. That's really bad. And I assume that happens with the 1 to 2s as well. It's so hard to see though on the side of the screen, because at least here I'm zoomed in and you can see the arrows a bit better. On the side, it's like I have to do this to see what I'm doing. So yeah, I'm not a fan of the new changes to Pipe Visualizer. It's a watered down Pipe Visualizer, and I think it's gonna cause some downside. It's causing downsides already right now with advanced fluid handling, and I think it's gonna have further repercussions too. So I hope eventually Rygaard finishes some other projects and decides it's worth his time to take up Pipe Visualizer again. Because I see a need for it, personally. Maybe it was this one that was over. I can't remember. And wait. No. I use the underground T-junctions too. Sorry, what am I talking about? Did I do this wrong? No. Okay, sorry. I just handcrafted some of these. I did set these up correctly. Yeah, the T-junctions are what I use. So basically, the main draw of advanced fluid handling is when you've got a lot of buildings set up next to each other, what you normally have to do in vanilla is this sort of thing. And then on top of that, if they are buildings that... Do I have any buildings? you know, if they're buildings with 2 inputs, you have to do this whole sort of thing. And then it can get really messy and spaghetti-y, and you know, you're pasting these, and they're taking up so much room in front of the buildings. But with advanced fluid handling, you can just do this. And it just feels so good, because they just connect across, you know, underground. It's kind of like in games where you have multiple Z layers, where it's like, okay, you have a bunch of straight pipes along the bottom, but then you have an up pipe that connects to the building. It makes sense that you can do this, and it's just very nice. So I'm a big fan of advanced fluid handling for mod packs, for sure. You don't really need it in vanilla, but Mandriod, how do I have this? How do I have these being so wide? It is the custom production UI fixed mod, which was initially fixed by me, aka I asked Rygaard how to stop it from crashing. Or no, what was the fix that I did? The fix that I did was that, what was it? Oh, it was warehouses. So the original mod author who made it, God rest their souls. No, I assume they're still alive. But they didn't update their mod. Whenever you had an inventory of like a chest, and the inventory was so big that it had a scroll bar, for whatever reason, the mod, the little squares on the end here were overlapping with the scroll bar, and it was kind of annoying. So Rygaard gave me a line of code that fixed that, and then I changed it. And then 2.0 came out, and people were asking about fixing it for 2.0, and Derpamu helped with that. So I've done less updates to the mod than other people, despite the fact that it's my mod. Anyway. Okay, so these will build up very slowly over time. I guess we can speed this up a little bit by having 2 iron inserters. There we go. I guess there's no point in having, because these are the same, it's just 1-to-1. But yeah, that'll speed things up a little bit. And yeah, over time that'll build up, and we'll have plenty of advanced fluid handling pipes. I need to get rid of these 1-to-3s. Somewhere. Where's a dump chest? I don't have dump chests everywhere these days, which is kind of nice. But here's one. Single science pack. Probably shouldn't waste that. Yeah, those 1-to-3s are never going to get used. The sap will get used. These pipe to grounds are now dead to me. I actually need a lot more electric poles here. So I might go cut a few trees for that. Yeah, so Heinj, I don't know how to pronounce your name exactly. That is an interesting question about readability. It's true. So first off, it is true that the advanced fluid handling pipes are a bit less readable if the arrows really help, and then pipe visualizer really helped. The old version helped a lot more, and that's part of why I'm worried about the new version. I think the old pipe visualizer mod had some really good features. I mean, really all of its features were different. The new version of pipe visualizer, I don't even know if, like, you can call it pipe visualizer because in some ways it's still sort of doing the same thing, but it's not, because the old one had a button that you would actually click to, it had 2 different buttons, and one of them was toggle mouse over visualization. So it would toggle what we currently have always on, and we don't have a toggle for, unless I'm missing it and nobody in chat is talking about it. There was a toggle for this feature before. It wasn't just always on. So that's thing number 1. And thing number 2 is it had another mode that you could click it and it would visualize all the pipes, and it would gray out the back, basically the whole screen that isn't pipe network, and it would color all the different pipes, and you could walk around and you could just see all the networks at the same time. kind of like what you see in map view right now. You know, you can see the different pipe networks all together. It was kind of like that, but without all the other visual noise, and you were able to walk around and look at stuff and make sure, okay, that's connected, and you didn't have to mouse over any of them. So that's feature number 2. So we're already at 2 things that Pipe Visualizer did that now we cannot do in the game at all, which is a downgrade, right? I don't like downgrades in my game DLCs. Not that Space Age is the downgrade, but just the fact that we now have less features with the modded version. Anyway, and then thing number 3 that we now cannot do, which you could do, is lock a pipe. So you could hit, I think it was the H key, because back then, you know, we didn't have H to flip horizontally back then. But anyway, the H key, you could lock it, and you would hit the lock key, and then it would keep that visualization on the screen without having to mouse over the pipe. So I could lock this water and then run around and look and just see the water network regardless of where my mouse is floating over. So it allowed you to kind of explore and make sure, like, is this pipe network actually connected? But the only way to do that now is to run around and mouse over each individual piece to make sure it's connected. It's just way more annoying. So those are 3 reasons we need the old Pipe Visualizer mod back. Rygard, please, please, God, help me. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope. Anyway, there's my TED Talk on why we need Pipe Visualizer. 3 reasons. So if you think about it in those senses, there's 4 things that the old mod could do, and the new vanilla default only does 1 of them. Or maybe there's 3 things the old one can do, and the new one does 1 of them, and with reduced functionality. Or maybe no, sorry. New way to think about it. 2 things it could do. It could do the whole screen showing all the pipes at the same time, or just 1 at a time. But then there were 2 features for the 1 at a time, which was locking and the ability to toggle it off. So between those 2 things, that's like 2 extra features that we lost on this functionality. And then on top of that, there was the button that showed all the pipelines, which we lost. We did gain the functionality of having pipelines on the map view, which is nice. But I don't think that replaces it. It's not a replacement for that functionality. It's just different. It's nice, but it's not the same thing. So, yeah. So the readability is less important, that you can just see what's going on in a spaghetti view. So Bob's adjustable inserters have the same issue, but it's plenty readable when you're the one producing it and making it. I don't actually feel like it's that big of an issue. And then once it's running, you don't need the inserter pickup direction to be that readable, because you're not often going in and changing inserter drop off and pickup locations, or changing a pipe connection in the build. So for me, the readability is more about things that you are changing more frequently or need to modify frequently. I don't actually mind too much that individual pipe connections might be a bit of spaghetti internally. You know, it's things like Pipe Visualizer that I really like, giving me the readability of like, oh, this pipe does connect across to that other water network. Like, I want to know which water networks are connected, and Pipe Visualizer is going to be a much bigger part of finding that out than what direction the undergrounds are going. If you build a swiveling underground over a ghost, it doesn't set the direction correctly from the ghost. Yeah, I think AFH needs some updates, it seems like. Also, Drag Nearest, you're welcome. Glad you're enjoying season 3. I'm enjoying season 3 so far. What are we doing next? I've been ranting for a while. Not even ranting, just talking about things. So now what? I think it is time to begin thinking about tar. Let's zoom out. Okay, done. No, I'm kidding. Let's look at circuits. Circuits are kind of the main goal that we need to have, and we should set our smaller goals accordingly. So simple circuit board. If I wanted to make 3 per second, we would be playing for another 50 hours before I'd get there. We will not be making 3 per second. I'll just set it to 1 for now. The reason is not because I want 1 per second, but it's because I want to understand what it costs me to produce 1 circuit, if that makes sense. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the substrate in its own block, and we're going to have the... What is happening? Why is that... Okay, it's not linked. I don't know why a new block isn't linked by default, but that's fine. And then we're going to have all these pieces in another block. I already have 2 air core inductor recipes. Are you serious? So then... Can we make ceramic already? I can't remember. Yes. High pressure furnace, coke and clay. Clay is steam. I mean, I guess we can compare pretty easily. Let's just look at both. Copper-wise, it's double the copper to do the iron stick version. That's a lot of copper. But what's easier? 1 iron stick and 4 copper cable, or 0.4 ceramic, which requires 0.08 coke and 0.8 clay, and 0.8 clay, which requires 26 steam, which is like 3 boilers worth of steam, which is going to be more raw coal or coke. Interesting. I think it's worth saving the copper and the iron and just doing the steam route, because the actual amount of coke is very low, and I can make steam with a variety of methods. So I think we will go with the cheaper method. And then we'll leave those off for the time being. Okay, so where are we at? I lost track. We did copper zinc batteries, ceramic capacitors, air core inductors, high power resistors, vacuum tubes. Ooh, the new glass icon. Oh ho ho! It's Not Melon coming in hot with the new glass icon. Those who watched my Meraxis episodes will recognize the new glass icon. I can't decide how I feel about it. I like it, but there's something I miss about the old one. And I don't know if it's just nostalgia or something else. Okay, and then solder, which is a giant pain in the butt. It is so expensive for right now. Like, solder is extremely expensive. Welcome to the Zen Garden and / or your doom. Yeah, exactly. Wait. No. Undo that. Is there an undo button? I don't know if there is. Can I move this back out? Yes, I can. Okay, so what I actually want to do is control click. Boom. So that's all now a block. Those are all linked and it's broken. Okay. So this is where we get to start learning about all the new pi. I don't know what a consumer block versus a producer block is. But I don't think that's what we want. I want all of these to be linked properly. Does this work? Welcome to Hellmod episode number 1. One of many. So, like, why is it making that many air core inductors? Does anybody know? Why would you be making 3.334 air core inductors? For what purpose? Because we don't need that many. We just end up with extra output. So why is that the number that it's making? I cannot... Because Helmut is super broken. It's certainly possible. But I seem to remember these sorts of things worked fine before. Why is it doing it this way? If I change this, it does change... Up, wrong button. It does change the amount. So why is it overproducing? There's probably a reason for it. I do want to start understanding how it all works, because I love Helmut, and I want it to be the best that it can be. So I probably will do a detailed bug and or feature request report at some point. So I do want to dive into this a little bit. So what I don't understand is why this is making so many extra air core inductors. If I remove all these, it fixed it. Okay. So that tells us something. It was combining, it was doing something weird. I don't know exactly what. Let's figure that out. So let's delete that block. Let's add these like we had before. And let's figure out what it was doing. So I added all these to a block, control click, I linked it. And it probably has something to do with... That's weird. I was gonna say it had something to do with, maybe it was the ceramic in this recipe. No, that didn't change it. Which one does change it? 3.34 high power resistors? No. Vacuum tube? No. What was that last one I just removed? The solder? What would that... Why does adding solder change this amount of air core inductors? What possible reason could it have for that? So this is properly linked to make 1 per second right now. But why would it change when I add a recipe of solder? There's gotta be a reason it's doing this, but I cannot figure it out. And control clicking doesn't seem to change anything. Oh, I see. So a block seems like it can... So it changed... Well, I still don't see. I don't understand why air cores are defaulting to this number. Is it because it's making coal or something? Or ash? Is it making ash for another block? Like, what is... No, that's the only product of this. Is it using up? Don't really understand that at all. Huh. Starting on PyScience 1 and just started my Py run. Yeah, I mean, just is a very interesting sentence when it comes to pYanodon's. Because we just started and we're at 11 hours, but I still feel like we haven't even really started the early game. We're still in the tutorial, you know? Okay, so we are going to understand this. If it kills us, so what is happening? Why? So if we control click it, that sets as main product. That works fine. But for some reason, if it's not set as a main product, it makes a wonky amount of air core inductors. Why does it make this wonky amount? But it's a wonky amount that's tied to the production, because if I change the amount of simple circuit boards, it changes how many air core inductors we're making. So it's because the solder is linked, but the solder shouldn't have anything to do with how many air core inductors we're making. So it's like it's doubling the whole block just to make enough solder, which happens to also double the air core inductors. But why are these different? It's not like we have 2 of each factory. Ooh, I think I'm starting to understand what's happening here. I think what it's doing is it's multiplying. Let's try something. Let's try removing this. So now we have 0.5 electronics factory. I think what it's doing... is it's adding 1 building worth of this and then multiplying by the whole block by whatever it needs to fulfill the solder requirement, and then that happens to multiply air core inductors as well. What if I add the vacuum tube in here? What happens? Same problem. Huh. So, why is it not working? What, like, gotta be a way to make this work, right? And if you tell me I'm supposed to make an entirely separate block for each ingredient, that would be not how Helmut should work. Like, that shouldn't be right. Like, obviously that's an option that you could make a different block for every ingredient, but you shouldn't have to. You should be able to make multiple, you know, of these things that you need in one block. But maybe not. Maybe it can only scale blocks entirely. Maybe it's not capable of scaling blocks separately. So what if I... What's a good example? Like if I add this in here. I feel like something's still wonky. Cause what I want. What's up, Spider Horse? Epsilon, yes, we are in Helmod jail. Pi is treating us well. We are trying to figure out the intricacies of Helmod right now, and we are not necessarily succeeding. What if I had... What if I just wanted copper cable? As an extra main output. Will that then... See, this is the kind of thing that I understand. Like, yeah, you can do fancy stuff like this. Where you're like, ooh, I want to meet the need for the 5 copper cable. I want to meet that extra need from this block by control clicking this output. Even though normally this copper cable would only meet the need of this ingredient, we can control click it to link it to the block above it. Like, I love that. It's great. That's how it's supposed to work. I get that. That's fancy. And I feel like I understand that. What I don't understand is what's happening with these objects and why they're both increasing together. Like, what if I did the same idea then? What if I just wanted extra vacuum tubes? Why does it increase the amount of air core inductors we make? Because it's not also increasing the amount of copper cable I'm making. So it's not scaling... Oh, well, it kind of is. But the 5 extra, it's not scaling the 5 extra. What is the situation here, and why is it happening? Interesting. The worst part, I'm not going to go on a crazy Helmod rant, despite the fact that I know you guys would love it. But I will say the worst part is that I don't know if it's a bug or a feature. Like, I don't know if there's a certain button I can hit to make it do exactly what I want, or if it's actually a bug. I don't think any of these settings are gonna change things. Are those icons explained somewhere? Because those are new. Some of those icons are new. I don't know what they all mean. I haven't hit the help button in a while. Maybe we should look at that. Oh, this is for old Helmod. That's bothersome. Doesn't even have the icons. Yeah, that's not really that helpful. Can Helmod help with quality? I think so. I haven't tried it yet. What is this all about? Consumer block versus producer block. Oh. This. Product input. Now we're making too many vacuum tubes. Cellulose spoils. Yes, yes it does. Okay, I might have to give up on this for now. I'm really wanting to use Helmod and use it well. It's possible there are some bugs. It's probable there are some bugs. I'm not gonna fix anything. So why is this not? I feel like I want to understand it. Because if we just have the air core inductors, it works fine. If I add in copper zinc batteries to this block, then that's already breaking things as well. The order of these doesn't seem to matter. Control clicking those doesn't seem to matter. Shift clicking does ignore it. Now there's always the option to unlink it and manually set the numbers, but of course that's not what we want to do. It does seem like it's scaling. Yeah, see, it's making 5 times as many, and it's still making 5 times as many. So it's like it's scaling all of the outputs to the same result when it shouldn't be. Like if I type 0.5 there and 0.167 here, boom, it's doing what we need it to do. So the problem is the linking isn't actually setting it. Well, now it's working, but that's just because of the numbers I typed in. Like the linking isn't linking multiple. It's very confusing, but it's not linking these separately. It's just linking the batteries, and it's just multiplying everything else. Which doesn't really make sense that it would do that, because the air core inductors are not producing anything needed in the copper zinc batteries. So there's no reason it would do that. So there's no real reason why this line should be changing at all when the need for copper zinc batteries changes, but it is. And that's where I'm feeling like the bug might actually be. So I'll probably report that later. All right, we're moving on. Sorry, guys. If you don't enjoy watching me in Helmod, you may have to skip a few sections of our play, because I'm sure there will be more. But I actually was here for a reason before we got sucked into understanding Helmod, which is just, I do want to actually plug in all the ingredients real quick. And then I will make the substrates a separate block at my own peril. At least for that, it should be okay. And then in here, we need the formica, which needs treated wood, which needs sap. Comes from that. And these have the modules in them. And we've got fiber. Jeez. And then formaldehyde, which we get from copper and methane, and then methane we get from moondrops. So moondrops keep falling on my head, and that's a whole thing. Okay. As far as other materials, we need 10 zinc, some saline water, 0.8 glass, some lead, cellulose, which is wood and limestone, and only lasts 10 minutes. Jeez. That's a much shorter timer than our flora. Did I pick my moondrop turd yet? No, I haven't picked any turds yet. What a sentence. Oh, by the way, we probably should do some other researches now that we... Let's get all these cheap ones out of the way. Ooh. Copper processing stage 1. Don't mind if I do. We can research splitters. I won't be able to make them for a long time, but I'll do a crafting speed and a movement speed, I guess. Now that wood is automated, science should be fully automated. Okay, so probably want to make a little bit more wood right now, just to get that done. So let's craft some more forestries. And we'll probably be done with the episode soon. It feels like we've got nothing done in this episode, other than some advanced fluid handling stuff. Wow. That's Factorio for you. You know, like I said, we're gonna be doing the Zen Garden approach. We're not here to make progress. But wow, that sure is not much progress. Just a lot of looking around at stuff. And, you know, you gotta understand it before you can really work on it. Alright, how are these doing? These are looking good. And how much science do we have? Ooh, hundreds. Nice. That being said, I must have chopped science in half here. There we go. Can I now set the recipes for things like making wood depending on the ingredients you have? Do you just mean because of how we can control assemblers with circuits now? If that's what you mean, then yes, we can do that now. It takes a lot of work to do those things in a way that's helpful, but yes, we can do that. All right, let's just copy this. Come on, build it. Oh, they can't. That's the wrong pipe type. Oh, I need to go grab some more of those. Because the one-to-ones we're going to use a lot because, you know, they're just the normal pipe. Grab those bad boys from up here. I only have 27 for now. They'll build up more. The 1-to-2s are kind of expensive, so they're taking a while. But yeah, that's fine. I probably should redo the build with these eye extenders and 1-to-2s. So I'm gonna take a few of everything. Did you know that the fastwood forestry is not all that fast? Oh, it's so true. It's just a marketing ploy. It's not fast at all. Alright, I think that is a better scheme. Alright, belt. What are you guys doing? They're getting all confused. Uh-oh. Never seen this happen before. Is this tree the problem? I guess. I don't know what that was about. Weird. And now we have to manually place the trees because the construction drones don't do it, which is very annoying. 15 more of those. And then I'll have to move my tree seedlings, get her rid of her, to the bottom of the belt. Yeah, I think it's the size of the pie buildings is causing the drones to be cranky. Indeed. Oh, and then these are not all hooked up. Where can I... Okay. Seems like it's doing the right thing. Fill that with trees, fill that with trees. Sweet. Okay, 4 should be enough for now. That's what, 3 wood per second? Can this handle that? Yes. The inserters. Oh, it doesn't have inserters. Right. Perfect. Oh no! Haha. Yes. Yes, the spoilage problem is real. Oh man. Alright. Well, that comes over here. Prioritized. Tree seedlings spoiling is gonna be the death of me. Oh, everything spoiling is gonna be the death of me. Okay, so we've got a little bit more wood going. How much will we actually need for circuits, realistically? This is telling me 14 per circuit. Is that right? Please tell me that's not right. No, that's for half a circuit. 29 wood per circuit. That can't be right. No. Really? No. Well, this is where my turd options come into play. So... where's the turd menu? So this will get me quadruple the fiber, right? That's a huge difference. So that could be the thing. This just gets me double the logs. Or sorry, double the wood. So that's kind of nice. It gets me a lot more fuel value from logs. It makes the wood processing unit absurdly fast. Hey, look at that. 4 logs in 1 second rather than 4 logs in 4 seconds. So it's 4 times the speed and double the productivity at the same time, which is 8 times the result. And then there's this one. I don't think that's worth it. It makes the forestries faster, which is nice, but yeah, the fiber option is interesting because it's quadruple the fiber, but this gets us double the wood, which is also double the fiber, right? And we don't have to worry about, I don't know, this is just generically good forever, assuming logs are the way that we make wood forever, which is probably worth looking into. Yes, logs are the only way we ever make wood. So that being the case, makes me think the turd for 40 wood might be the way to go. It feels scary to pick that, but I don't know. Because I think I did the fiber one in my last run. They've probably been rebalanced since my last pYanodon's adventure. But anyway, that is an accurate amount of wood, which is absurd. That doesn't sound right, but it is. Until I have a better way of making fiber, we need absurd amounts of wood per circuit. Yeah, I don't see any other way around it. I don't think until I have kickalc, which is a green science thing, we don't have another way to make fiber. Or Yotoi. Yeah, okay. Well, in that case, we will probably go for that forestry turd. Where is the forestry turd, by the way? This one. Probably queue that up. Yeah, I think we'll just double our wood output. I think that'll be generically good, and it'll help us through the early game. It'll help us in the late game. I think it'll help at all stages. But yeah, where did that cellulose go? Here, this cellulose is a ton of wood and limestone. And that also does not have another recipe for a while. And that's an absurd amount of wood. So yeah, 29 wood per circuit, I think is accurate. Which is just, it's like laughably expensive. I just can't even believe that. It's so nuts. Yeah, see, why is this making extra? You see what I'm saying? Like, what is going on here? Why are we getting extra methane as an output? I know we already talked about this. So I'm gonna stop. But I do think I think Hellmod's bugged. It's possible I'm missing something, but I think it's bugged. Because that should be making 60, not 73.334. I don't really see a good reason for that. It's not like we have a need for any extra formaldehyde anywhere else in the block, in any of the blocks. So anyway, we'll stop there. The plan is to work towards circuits. How many per second am I making, Spider Horse? We are definitely not making 1. I probably will go for about 0.1 per second, maybe slightly higher, but those numbers are more rational and doable. You know, when we're looking at it, like, those are all relatively possible amounts of things. So we'll probably do somewhere around 0.1. We'll figure it out exactly later. And then, yeah, we'll get the turd upgrade, which will give us double the wood production, which will be nice. So instead of this making 3 wood per second, we'll actually get 6 wood per second out of this, which feels pretty good. And I can easily scale this up. In fact, is this... I forgot to double check. This is not enough anymore, is it? Yeah, I need more botanical nurseries. So let's grab what we need for that before we finish the episode, because I'll forget. I need more iron. Oop, not that much iron. And then I guess I'll take a tiny bit more copper. Yeah, 0.1 per second is not great, but there are so many ways that we can improve the ingredients once we get into Pi1 and green science that it's like, as long as it's enough to get you through Pi1 and green science, then you're okay. Though, I don't know, 0.1 is still pretty low. Oh, we need planter boxes. We should have some extras. Oh my god, we have some extras. Wow, that's something I forgot to change. Okay, well there's a lifetime supply of planter boxes. Not really, but that should last a while. I'm gonna bring those down here, because this is where I need them right now. Sale on planter boxes. Yes. Just pop them in there. Okay, wait a second. How do I scale this? Not like an idiot. I need a lot of moss. What's our moss turd, by the way? We're gonna have to look at that. We don't get that till Pi Pack 1. So I guess it's not even worth looking at yet, but we're gonna have to do the moss the hard way. The other option is bringing stone into the equation. Like absurd amounts of stone. Well, it's interesting. Is it really absurd amounts of stone? Because the amount of moss I need per second isn't that much. So it's actually not that crazy. Yeah, iced Karim. It's not... Like, it's absurd. When I say absurd, I say that because it is more than 1 stone per moss that you're spending. But given the amount you actually need per second is relatively low, it wouldn't be that hard to yoink a little bit of stone for that purpose. So why don't we do that? So we'll yoink some stone, bring it down, and then this will give us more than double the moss production. Oh, that's not how that works. Where can we fit an insert? You know, I might need our new advanced fluid handling pipes. I don't think we can fit an insert in there. Okay, just remember, I'm not allowed to rotate anything with Control R, or the whole world breaks. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Power. Everything. And That needs 1 stone per second, and then that gets us 0.8 moss per second, which can support up to 3 of these bad boys, which is great. I'm gonna move this up here. We need to change around this design. Wonderful. You know how I said the episode was gonna be over? Yeah, Pepperidge Farm remembers. I'm just gonna make room for 3 right now, even though I only have the resources for 1. Yeah, there's a lot of stone in our future, so I'm not too worried about it. Stone is one of those things you need to mine a lot of, and make a lot of, and deal with the byproduct a lot of, and it never stops. Cannot mix fluids. This is where the rotating becomes scary. Rotate it like that, move it over there, and now, okay, that's good, it didn't delete things. I wasn't sure if placing a pre-rotated one would delete stuff, but it seems like it doesn't. So that's good. And then this thing is gonna make trees from seedlings. Something like that. The moss. Do some squigglies here. Okay, I think that looks good. And then get rid of the moss, get rid of tree seedlings. The ash, what do we got? 50,000 is gonna last us 5 hours? That's not a ton. That's probably worth check on forestry ash. Put that in my to-do list. And then grab 1 more nursery. I don't really want to have a whole extra area with tree seedlings, so I'll just do it this way. I think this is more efficient. So it'll just pull seedlings off the main factory line. Plant-based spaghetti, indeed. I think we're good. We do have, just in case the saplings spoil. Not just in case. I mean, they will spoil. I think we're okay here. Hey, Corey, thanks for the follow. Also, before we sign off on this episode, we're going to keep streaming, but of the recorded version, am I going to build trains at Pi Science 1 or wait till Logistics Science? Last time I waited till Logistics Science, but I don't remember why. I'll probably do that again, just because I know there's so much that changes in Logistics Science. It feels reasonable to wait until then, but we'll see what I end up actually doing. Okay, and all the rates here are... Oh, wait, no, I didn't check CO2. 5 a second. Yeah, we have more than enough. 25 a second, but really only 20 a second. We need 5 a second. Okay. Sweet. All right. Well, I think we'll call that an episode. We have figured out not much about Hellmod, but maybe a few things. And like I said, we'll keep streaming, so stick around if you're here live. If you're from the recorded YouTube episodes from the future, as always, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and I'll see you in the next episode. All right. Now, what screenshot do I want to get for this? Advanced fluid handling, I guess. And yeah, I really want to figure out this Hellmod thing, but I don't know if we're going to be able to. It seems like a bug and or a bad feature. Not really sure. Because, yeah, I mean, this is the exact same situation as the other block, where it's like, why are certain buildings in this block being scaled higher than they should be? And this is actually an example where it makes even less sense, because in this case, this methane should only be meeting the need for the methane within that block. So why is that higher than 6? Right? Like, that doesn't make any sense at all. Like I have no explanation for that at all. Doesn't make any sense, because this should be meeting the need for that formaldehyde, because there's no other formaldehyde needs, and I didn't do this to add a link for it. So between those two things, it makes really zero sense that the formaldehyde would be at 5 when this is only needing 3.334. And I can't, these are all set, these are all reset, you know, they're not manually set to anything, so it's not that issue. You know, the reset button doesn't change anything here. So I can't really imagine what it would be that I would do to get this doing the right thing. Like what am I supposed to do? I need this formaldehyde in the block. I add the recipe, and it's the wrong number. Like, that's just gotta be a bug, right? Unless... No... I was thinking maybe it has something to do with the copper input is like linking somewhere into copper outputs from something else, but nothing else is even outputting copper. So I think, what's the timestamp right now? I think I'll report this section 145. At the 145 mark. I think I'll report this and just say like unexpected behavior, because it really doesn't make sense, right? I mean, the unexpected behavior here is that we have a block within a block. It's meeting the need of the printed circuit substrate here. That number is linked correctly. If I change the amount of circuits, it changes the substrate, and that changes this. That's all expected. What's unexpected is within this block, the certain producers have the wrong amount. So if I want this formaldehyde, for example, I add formaldehyde, and for whatever reason it's producing 50% more formaldehyde than it should be. It's thinking that it needs to make 150 of it. I don't understand why. Because there's no other formaldehyde anywhere in any of these chains. This is the only place the formaldehyde item shows up in the entire Hellmod calc that I have set up. So this should be making 100, not 150. So that is problem number 1. Problem number 2 is similar, in that if we want to make something like air core inductors and copper zinc batteries in the same block, in the same sub block, it's scaling them incorrectly. So like if we add them here at the bottom, and then I control click both of those to a new block, then even if I set these, it does not make the correct amount of them. And so you can see here, we need 1 copper zinc battery, but 3 air core inductors. It's making 5 air core inductors, not 3. I don't know where it's getting 5 from. This 5 doesn't really make any sense, because that is not meeting the need for any other, like there's nothing else in the ingredients above it that are, nothing else needs air core inductors. It's only these 3. So theoretically, this should be a 3, not a 5. So that's problem number 2. I'm guessing it's the same problem as problem number 1 under the hood. They seem like a very similar problem. Things are making more than they should be, and I don't understand why. Obviously, if you shift click it, it goes to 0, so that's not going to fix it. What does fix this problem is if I control... shift... No, I didn't link the block. Whoops. Okay, sorry. You might have thought that was the problem. It's not. Linking the block doesn't change the numbers. But then I think, yeah, I can get it to create the correct one. Like, it'll create 3 air core inductors now if I set that as the main product. But the problem is then it reduces the amount of copper zinc batteries it's making. So it's like it's tied these 2 buildings together to always be in this ratio. But there's no reason why these 2 buildings should be a linked ratio. They make separate outputs. And if I've linked the block and I haven't typed in a manual output, it should default to asking the ingredient list above it, what outputs do we need, right? If it's a linked block and I haven't typed in a number, it should just make the amount that is needed above. So it's weird that it only really works for one object at a time. And you can't do both. So. No, Alor, this is not a my mind thing. This is like an actual bug. Like it's... Something's wrong if you can't have 2 separate things meeting the need for ingredients above it. Like that's just a bug. It's possible I can't figure out how to make this work. No, Alor, it's not that it's changing the ratio of buildings within a block. It's that it has set the ratio and I am not allowed to change it. Right? Like, it's supposed to be a linked block, which means it should be calculating the needs and setting the things that output those needs according to the needs in the blocks above it. At no point did I say this should be 5 and this should be 1. Those numbers are coming from somewhere that was not me, and there's nowhere that I've created this ratio. This shouldn't be making 5. Why is this making 5? This is making 1. The copper zinc batteries are making 1 because that's exactly how many copper zinc batteries we need. But then why are we getting 5 air core inductors? That's not something that is being created by my needs or by a number I set. It is a weird, arbitrary, random number that is not the amount I actually want. Nor is it the amount I need. It's the numbers that are showing up should either be something you manually set or something that automatically got set because it's what your needs are. And we're in this third option where the number is some random number that's not the amount I want or need, which is obviously a problem. So something's going weird here, and obviously, like, we know it's weird because if I say, hey, I instead want the air core inductors to be the main thing that we're linking, it does the correct amount of 3, but then it reduces this number down to 1. So that's the problem here. So anyway, I'll report that 5-minute kind of section in the Hell mod, and maybe it'll help some changes, because this is actually kind of like broken. Like, I literally, what am I supposed to do? Like, this is making the wrong amount of formaldehyde, right? And I believe this is the same issue under the hood that's causing this. Something's calculating. No, Alor, I'm gonna hard disagree with you. This is not me doing unintended things. because I think it's the same issue as this. I think it's actually got a calculation bug, and it's making 5. It's thinking it needs to make 5 for some reason, and it's making, or sorry. Yeah, no, I said that right. It's thinking it needs 5 for some reason. I think there's a calculation bug in here, because if you are linking recipes, where is it getting the 5 that this is set to? Why is this set to 5 buildings? There's no reason this should be 5 buildings. I added a recipe that has nothing to do with anything in the block, right? These air core inductors should be set to 0 if they didn't care about the blocks above it, right? Because there's no inductors needed right now. If I'm looking at this block only, I don't need any inductors, so why is that going to 5? Shouldn't that be 0? If anything, it would start at 0, and then I would link it to the block above, and then it would show up as 3. That would be one version of expected behavior, or it would just start at 3 because it's linked to the block above it, because it wasn't linked to the block that it's in. But either way, going to 5 makes absolutely no sense. There's no reason why it would ever be 5 right here. So like this isn't a Krydax's mind thing. This is like there's a bug somewhere, because this 5, and maybe there's some explanation I'm not thinking of, but no one said it in chat either. There's no reason why this should be 5. Absolutely zero reason. Especially because it's not even like double what we need. It's not it's not some magical like, oh, that's exactly what we need divided by 2, so maybe there's a weird rounding error, maybe I'm requesting it twice. Like it's literally, we need 3 and it's giving us 5, so we know it's not linking to the amount we need. Also, no, Alor, that's literally not true, because old Hellmod worked perfectly for multiple products in the same block. And Alor, if you really want to be this argumentative about it, like, I don't know why you're jumping on this, because you're just wrong. Like, it literally has the wrong amount of formaldehyde within the block as well. So I'm telling you, Hellmod has bugs. It's not calculating the right numbers. I've used Hellmod for so many hours before it changed to this new format, and I know what it was capable of. And a lot of things, it's fine if they change how you get things done, but what's not fine is if you literally can't get things done. Like right now, there isn't a way to fix that issue, and there isn't a way to make the right amount of formaldehyde right here. What am I supposed to do? I have 100 right here, and it's making 150 right here. It's automatically calculating the wrong number. So there are some serious bugs in Hellmod right now. I could manually set the percentage to be 66.7%, but that's a terrible idea. Yeah, Alor, I don't know if I buy that either, because like making multiple products in one block to link to stuff above is a pretty... I don't think that would be something the dev would not have thought of. Like, it's a factory calculator. Making 2 things in one block is pretty standard. There are multiple buttons in Hellmod that support the functionality of having multiple things that you can set as linked intermediate products. Like I don't know, you weren't here earlier. I did some examples. I could add copper wire as a linked intermediate product, even though it's meeting the need inside of the block. I can link it as an extra intermediate product that then if I need copper wire in a different scenario, like let's say up here, no, that's copper plate. If I just wanted to produce 5 extra copper cable in this, well, now it's providing it from this lower block. So again, that doesn't really fly either. Like the mod maker, Helfima, has thought of these types of interactions, and they want them to work, clearly. So what's weird is that this number's changing without me linking it or without it automatically linking. That's the main issue. So something's gone wrong, because it's automatically set to 5, but 5 is the wrong number for basically any possible desire that I might have. What happens if you add a recipe to the subblock that's completely unrelated to anything? That's a good question. Well, that sets it to 1, which is interesting. It seems to default to 1 of something per second if you add an unrelated thing. So, yeah. And I'm guessing this 5 is coming from... maybe. No. It's something about it's locking the ratio of these two and then it's multiplying it, but it never really got the initial ratio correct or something. I don't know exactly what it is. Anyway, I wanted to do a little bit of that rant, the prior part of the rant, just as a bug report. So I'll send that in to Helfima, because I do think for the most part it's working as expected. This bug is a weird one. I don't know what this bug's about, but everything else I've tried to do today has worked properly. Yeah, there's a lot of weirdnesses. Some of them are just getting used to the new system because there's multiple blocks now, which is beautiful, and I love it. I'm so grateful for it. But some of it is just getting used to how the multiple blocks things work. But stuff like what I was just doing, obviously there's something's wrong, because you should be able to make more than one product in the same block. That very much is a core functionality. And even if you can't, that still doesn't explain... Oops, I deleted my formaldehyde. That doesn't explain the formaldehyde problem that we were just having. So, like, there's certainly an issue one way or the other. Anyway, I need to take a quick break, stretch my legs, and then we will probably play for a little bit longer. I need to think about what to do, though. What are we doing in this next episode? We need to pave the world. Someone mentioned that. All right, let me do a restroom break first, and then we'll come back. All right, you guys go stretch your legs. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. So, all right, Helmod rant number 1 complete. Let me just make sure. I am curious what the consumer... I mean, I think I understand sort of what the difference is, but like I said, it's possible something's programmed to work totally different than I was thinking it was programmed to work. I still don't understand where the 5's coming from, regardless, because I would think that would be a 0 or a 3. Anyway, I'm curious if... like, what if I did... I have this guy, and I change it to... Huh. So this is not making an extra 5 copper. It's making the 5 that's demanded from the main factory. What if I give it an extra 5? Or I manually set it to be 10, say. Okay, now I'm doubly confused. This says 10. Oh no, we're getting into that half of... The block is only producing half of what it wants to again. Oh no. Also, can you not modify that anymore? You used to be able to modify the block count. Because it's linked? Because on this one, I'm seeing if we can get the copper to use... Basically, we use up all the copper. Is my thought. Because that's a pretty common thing that you want to do. You know, you've got a block that's making something extra, and you want to use up all that extra in another block. So I'm trying to figure out that right now. We're making 10 copper cable. 2 of that is going... Where's the 2 copper cable going? Am I losing my mind? Why do we have 12? Why is this 12? If I link it as an intermediate, it's adding 2. Where are those 2 going? Because that's set to 5. So why is 2 the amount that's showing up? Like if I set that to 100 and link it, then that makes 100. If I set it to 5, it makes 5. If I set it to 10, it makes 10. Now it's not making the extra 2. Okay. So we probably found a bug in there somewhere. Where was that 2 coming from? I never typed 2 wire into anything. Pretty confident about that. Now it's... Where is that 2 coming from? Because now it's doing the numbers that I've typed in. It's so weird. Okay, that's fine. Let's give it an extra output. That now is excess. Oop, I didn't mean to do that. So if I were to link it, it would go to 0. So then I want this one to use up that copper cable. How do I get that to happen? How do I get that to happen now? Input. Do I need to set this? The primary consumed thing? Oh. Hey. Got a nice little error message there. Didn't crash the game, at least. Shift clicking things doesn't seem to do it. You'd think? Huh. Because I can type in 10 there. Oh, that doesn't work because it's linked. Now I'm confused all over again. Shouldn't typing 10 in here create some amount of wood processing units? Isn't that just how Hellmod works? Like, am I making this up? Like, if I just make a whole new production line, and I say wood processing unit or whatever, it doesn't matter. Just anything that uses wire. None of these use wire. Wood processing units, and I switch it to input mode, and I set this to be 10. That's what I am assuming. Vatamouse Hellmod became garbage with the 1.0 update. Yeah, I don't know about that. It definitely, I mean, maybe. I think that's a bit more extreme than I feel, because I actually think it added some really cool features. I think it really was severely under-tested and under-baked. And it had a lot of combination of actual bugs and also just like, why does it work that way? That's not how people were using it before. And it's one thing if like it was the first iteration of the mod, but it's like it changed a lot of the workflows from the previous one. You know, and it's like, okay, I can understand if it was the first one someone made and a lot of people don't like it. That can be explained a little bit by what Alor was talking about before, which is just like, well, the mod maker thought of it a different way than the users do. And that is its own conversation about like, what's the point of a mod? Are you making the mod for yourself or are you making it for your users? It depends on what you're going for. I think the average mod maker wants it to be user friendly enough that people like using it, right? Some mod makers are like, I'm gonna make the mod I'm gonna make, and if you want it, you want it, and if you don't want it, that's your problem. And I technically agree that's a valid stance to take. I don't think it's the most productive one for society, like, but if that's your vibe, that's your vibe, that's fine. Anyway, back to this issue. I'm confused on why I can't manage to use up this 10 copper that this block is making. Yeah, and Dave, the reason I haven't given up is because I actually want to use Hellmod and I want it to work the way I want it to work. So I'm willing to press in. Okay, now typing in 10 logs worked. How does that make any sense? How does that make any sense at all? How does typing in 10 logs works, but typing in 20 cable doesn't? If I type in 5 small parts, booms, it gives me a number. If I type in 5 iron plates, boom, it gives me a number. If I type in 5 copper cables, boom, it goes to 0. What? Okay, I'm writing this timestamp down. I think I found another bug. 212. So yeah, when I type in any number of anything, it's happy to use that as the ingredient input to drive how many wood processing units I can make, right? If I type 41 here, I can make 20.5 wood processing units out of that, and it sets all the other numbers accordingly. But for whatever reason, it won't let me set copper cable as the thing. No matter how many I type, 500 or 3 doesn't change anything. But these ones all work for whatever reason. So that seems problematic. I don't have the cables set as a main product in the upper block. They are the product of this block. Oh, there's that 12 coming up again. I don't know where that... I don't know where that 2 cable is coming from when I set and unset this as an intermediate product, because none of these blocks... Well, these aren't even blocks. None of these recipes have anything to do with cable. So there's a 2 cable showing up somewhere that I've never typed in. This block doesn't have 2 cable anywhere, and so there's 2 cable floating around for some reason. And then yeah, why can't I go into this block and type in an amount of cable to use without it turning to 0? And does it have anything to do with producer versus consumer block? No, that doesn't seem to change anything. So yeah, something's buggy with this cable thing too. I'm wondering if it's because I'm making cable in a different block for some reason that's bugging out. Like if I were to make iron in another block, would it do the same thing with iron? Let's find out. So let's just make a block that makes a bunch of iron. We'll just have it make 100 iron. And then, are we gonna have the same issue with iron now that we had with cable? So I set cable to 5, it breaks. I set iron to 5, it doesn't break. Okay, now I'm doubly confused. I thought it was gonna break. I thought we were onto something. So I can't, maybe it's because it's linked. There we go, sorry, that might have been the problem. Now it probably, no, it still doesn't go to 0. If I link this, though, I don't know. Okay, so if you link it underneath, it seems to be using the excess, but it still isn't using the cable. So something is like bugged maybe in this, like if I were to if I were to make this again, like just delete these rows and make them again, it might work. Because it seemed to work fine with iron. Right here, it's using up all my extra iron. I assume, yeah, there's the 7.5 that it's not using. So like, there are plenty of things that are like almost working perfectly, right? Like that's exactly what I would want to do in a lot of scenarios where I use up the rest of the iron, you know, from this block that's making 100 iron. Like that's what I would expect. I would have thought it would go above it, not below it, because it's like this is being made and then I'm using it to make wood processing units, but I can live with the ordering. It's possible it's not even, I'm not even thinking about it right. Like it might even make more sense to me that the ordering's this way if I thought more about it. I haven't thought about it yet. My main point is, what's going on with this cable? And why is that so funky? It's so weird. If we delete that row, we have all this excess copper cable that is not getting consumed here for some reason. What if I just reset all of them? Yeah, that doesn't do it. Can I get the red dot thing to be on the cable? What is happening with 2 cable? Why is 2 cables showing up when I set it as a linked intermediate product? That's the other really funny thing. I mean, funny is a bad word. It's not funny. I don't know why it's happening. I can control click cable here, but it doesn't change it to use this cable for whatever reason. So that's also odd. Yeah, something seems broken with the cable itself that I'm making in this block. I don't know. Okay. Well, I will report those 2 timestamps to the Helmod dev as like, here are some bugs / confusions that, you know, definitely are gonna cause people to run into frustrations. I think this extra 2 cable that's showing up is also a bug, I think. I'm pretty sure that's not supposed to be there. So I have no idea what's going on with that. What are we at? 2:18:20 now. I'll report this as a timestamp as well. This 2 copper cable is coming from nowhere. And it's only when I set as a linked intermediate product that 2 cable shows up. But there's nowhere that I'm consuming or asking for 2 cable. And it's not going to this thing, and it's just like appearing for some unknown reason. And I don't know why we need 102 cable when I control click it. I won't say I fully understand exactly what control clicking is meant to do in the first place for that ingredient, given it's already the main output. But regardless of what it should be doing, I don't know where that 2 cable is coming from, because none of these ingredients are cable. And this isn't changing, so it's not getting consumed by the... I mean, I can remove this and it'll still do it. So that it's not related to that. Is it related to the ash? 479? No, we're not using ash anywhere. So it's not ash related. So yeah, I don't know why. I think that's just another bug. So anyway, I'll stop talking about Pi for now. I will report these things, and maybe we'll see some updates, maybe not. The Pi dev has continued to seem active since 2.0, like they are working on it. I don't know how much time they have for it and things like that, but maybe we can see some changes and some improvements. Because I think it's very close to being perfect. It does so much, and it does it really well when it works. So if the bugs can be ironed out, and maybe there's a couple small changes, it's definitely better than it was. Like, you're not having to mess with the multiplier of the block anymore. That was a thing. I remember when we switched to Helmod 1.0, that was a big problem, was like every single block was changing. You were like setting the number of buildings within the block, but then it was like changing the number of blocks on you in really weird ways, and that's been done away with, which I think is a thumbs up change. It's working more like it used to, where, you know, it's just got one of those blocks happening. So it's working more as expected, but I'm mixing Pi and Helmod. I mean, it's possible that pYanodon's is introducing some weirdnesses. It was never a problem before. There are some very specific bugs that show up sometimes, but what I was just doing right now, I don't think should have anything to do with Pi. Oh, I'm sorry. I said Pi dev and I meant Helmod dev. Whoops. Okay, yeah, that was a total that was a misspoke. Misspeaking. My bad. Actually. Oh, no. Wait, what? Oh, it couldn't, okay. It couldn't undo the deconstruction because there's no aluminum there anymore. Sad. I was gonna copy paste it, and now I can't. All right. Excuse me. Okay. Where are the inserters here? Is it like this? Why use hell mod when you can just wing it? Yeah, and someone was saying earlier, they were like, hot take, but, you know, just using the editor is better. And, like, I get that. I really like, for me, it's enjoyable to set up the whole chain in a planner and to see all the buildings that you're gonna need, to have all the numbers linked up. I'm not going for perfect ratios a lot of the time, but just having all the numbers, knowing like, okay, I'm gonna have, you know, this is where 3 of my glass per second is going, that's where the other 3 is going, so I'm gonna need 5 glass per second. That'll fit on 1 lane of a belt. Like, there's just so much that you can see in this strategic view. And I know some people like Bold Viking play without them, and that's totally fine. That's just a different play style. For me, being able to see all this is actually part of the fun, and being able to build it out and be like, okay, I need to build my 11 vacuum tube makers, you know, like, that's fun. It's less fun for me if I'm like, oh, how many vacuum tube makers do I need? Let's go build those. I guess I'll do. I mean, you totally can work your way backwards and do it one thing at a time without using a factory planner, but I prefer to plan it out. It's part of the fun for me. But yeah, I also prefer my factory planners to to work the numbers properly, so we'll see if we can get that going. All right. Why do I have that sitting there? I don't know. I'll need it eventually, but do I have a favorite ore type? Nextolite might be my favorite just because of how you mine it with the Digosauruses. The Digosauruses are totes adorbs, and I love it. Alright, what we're gonna do, because I actually am starting, today's a bit of a shorter stream, so I'm starting to run out of time already. I'm not gonna record another episode, but we're gonna prep some stuff. So let's do a little bit of planning. I'm not gonna get sucked into Hellmod again here, but we are going to plug back in. What am I missing here? Zinc batteries, the air core inductors, and something else. Substrate. I'm just gonna get this all out there just so I at least have, you know, some ballpark numbers again. I need to show hidden, show locked. There it is. So we want, wait. Oh, I guess it's not a locked recipe. It's the wood from logs that's locked right now. Okay, so then the sap, we already have the sap trees in there. Let's change that back to 1. Okay, and then the cellulose. Alright, I think that's pretty much boiled down to like basic-y stuff. I guess moondrops. But those just require CO2, right? So that's, and it's not like a huge amount. It's kind of a huge amount. Kind of a huge amount. How much? 2.5 coke. And then the treated wood. Okay. It's not perfect, but it's mostly boiled down stuff. So looking at these totals, Let's work on our task list from that. So we need to get tin mining going, tin mining and smelting. We need to get potentially more glass. Oop. When do we get syngas? Okay, I can basically already make it. Depending on what a gasifier costs me. Gasifiers I can already make. Okay, yeah. So syngas is going to be a thing. Let's see. Syngas for fuel. It's far better than coal gas. The graphite is just coke, so that's easy. Lead mining and smelting. We need titanium? No, but we do need zinc. And the zinc, if I'm remembering correctly, needs a fluid. Well, they all need fluids. Lead needs, I think, acetylene. Is that right? Yes. Though that's not the right number. FNEI does not give you the true number here. I think it's 10. Oh, it just shows me right here. Okay, lead ore. Zinc ore, or ore dash zinc requires nothing. Oh. No, it requires aromatics. Oh, that's the actual item zinc ore, and that's the, like, entity that is in the game world. That one tells you the 4 aromatics. Okay, so I need aromatics, and then 10 requires steam. So then we're gonna need aromatics or zinc. The moondrop seeds are also an important input, but aren't they basically just made from moondrops? Yeah, it's just a loop. So CO2 is really the only input to make seeds, to make moondrops, to make more seeds. Anyway, creosote needs... That's just the tar, pitch, raw coal nonsense. That's all a thing. Saline water is just a bunch of stone and or gravel for now. Limestone is just water. Water is just water. Okay. And probably more coke, but that will come with the tar processing chain and syngas chain. Do I get another way of coke before? I don't think we do. Yeah. Just the pitch. Pitch to coke is the other main way to do it now. Okay, so that's kind of figuring that out. And then why don't we... Just because, I know this sounds crazy, given everything we just said about Helmod, but I'm just curious to set up a little bit of the tar processing, and I just want to see what we run into. Maybe we'll run into some of the same bugs, maybe we won't. I wanna become an experienced Helmod user, so we're gonna just plug it in and see what happens. Okay. So, the methane recipe doesn't give you moondrops back. You need separate moondrop. Yeah. I remember that, Walter. But my point was just that methane plus moondrop buildings is all you need. Or, carbon dioxide plus moondrop buildings is all you need to supply moondrops. Unless I'm forgetting something. Am I forgetting something? Water and seeds are just moondrops, so no. Moondrops are just water. And electricity. Okay, so we're gonna flip. We're gonna input 100 tar, and we're gonna see what we can do with it. The middle oil gets cracked. Creosote does not get cracked. The anthracene... Wait, really? Coke and gasoline? Is that new? That doesn't sound right. Can we make... No, that... We already have that? Is this a new recipe? What the heck? I do not remember this recipe being a thing. Huh. Maybe this is one of those recipes that only exists when you have spoilage turned on. Or it's a new one, but I don't remember that being a thing before. So it's either new in general or it's new with spoilage, but it certainly was not there before. Yeah, anthracene was a void. Okay. So naphthalene is creosote or coke and aromatics. I think anthracene might have also been able to go to creosote. Yeah, I think that's what you did with it before. You just turned it all into creosote. But now you can do coke from it. That's huge. Because you can also do coke from pitch. Which is like the only thing you can do with pitch, right? Other than the asphalt stuff. I guess stone brick is a little more efficient, but I'm not ready to go for that sort of thing yet. So we would be doing this. And then that provides more naphthalene and anthracene. We also have our carbolic, which we can just process down into creosote. And the naphthalene was only creosote, right? Can't do the arrow. When do you get naphthalene to aromatics? You get naphthalene to aromatics when you have green signs. Okay, so we're not going to see that for a while. So for now, naphthalene to creosote is fine. And then we have light oil, which does go. So that's how we get aromatics for now. And some gasoline, which is just a great liquid fuel, or fluid fuel, I should say. And then if I matrix solve this, it's beautiful. It redirects the naphthalene and anthracene outputs into these usage. I guess I can just move the. I don't need matrix solver. I can just move this up, and that should do what we're wanting, right? Yeah, because there's no pitch down there, so then. Reset. Okay. Wow. So this has been buffed with this new recipe right here. This is huge. Look at how much coke is coming out of that. And gasoline. That's massive. That is absolutely massive. I probably won't make these numbers of things. I don't know. Maybe I will. It's not an insane amount of columns and tar processing units. 270 steam is a lot. And is 100 tar a lot? I'm not remembering how we make tar at this stage. Is it just these recipes? Whoa. Sulfur and keratin. When do we get sulfur mining? That's pretty slow though. So it's probably raw coal to tar, coal to tar. Probably not coke to tar. I don't think we have another way to make it. We'll get the tar extractors eventually, but those require circuits and intermetallics, so we're a long way off from being able to mine tar. And then the syngas recipe makes us even more tar. Okay, so we'll be repurposing all of that tar. So I guess then the next question is a separate question of how much tar do we get from like a belt of raw coal processing. Michael, you're saying almost all the coke goes to steam. Yeah, let's look at that real quick. And when do I get oil burners as well? Okay, so I won't have oil burners till after intermetallics, right? Yeah, so that's still a ways away. But that would let us turn the gasoline into, whatchamacallit, into steam. Right now, I think the only thing gasoline can do is fuel my glassworks. Yeah, that's literally all it can do. Okay. So we'll fuel the glassworks with gasoline, potentially. It can fuel my car. Yes, yes. Anyway, we need to make steam from boilers. So I should change this to 270. Change tar to 0. And then we can change that over to coke. I think I did something wrong. Yeah, this is not right. Matrix solver. There we go. Yeah, I mean, this is literally self-powering even. Or self-steam, sorry, not self-powering. It uses 14 megawatts. Though it produces 68, more than that, megawatts worth of gasoline. Anyway, it powers the steam that it uses with coke. If we wanted to do it that way. That's probably not how we want to use all our coke, but we could. I could also just use an absurd amount of raw coal. 3 belts of raw coal to create all the steam. And then we have a pretty good raw coal to coke ratio going here. I mean, look at that. I'm ignoring the tar cost though, which is why we're over here on another one. See, Hellmod is working for all this. I'm just saying, like, Hellmod's still incredibly useful, even with the bugs we're dealing with. So then for this guy, we want raw coal ingredient, this recipe, input 15. Yeah, okay, hold on. So I think the input was 10. It's really weird that it does that, but it's 1 recipe per second is what it's going for. That's what it's defaulting to. Is that why it was on 5 for air core inductors? We might have cracked the code. We cracked the code. That's why it was 5. It was defaulting to 5 because that's 1 recipe per second. But it wasn't capable of linking the air core it wasn't capable of unlinking the amount of air core inductors from the amount of copper zinc batteries it was making. And that's the bug. I also don't know exactly, is that what it was doing with formaldehyde as well? Formaldehyde, no, because that's 50 per recipe. Okay, never mind. Because it was making 150 formaldehyde when we only needed 100. So that doesn't explain that one. And the copper cable is definitely not 102 per recipe. It might be 2 per recipe, though. I think it's just 2 per recipe. I think it was just using the normal. So it was adding 1 recipe per second for some reason when I was control clicking it. I still think those things are bugs, but I think I at least have a slightly better understanding why the numbers were what they were. Anyway, so setting this to 15 and then using up the coal in this recipe and then turning the coal gas into syngas because that's free and we want the syngas anyway. So this is our current method of making coke, and it's terrible, right? It's basically 5 to 1. But we get a ton of syngas and tar out as well. So what we want to do now is consider these two together. So I scale this down by doing divided by 132.3 times 100. And this gets us our exact 100 tar per second, and it's 11 raw coal. So for 55 raw coal, we get all of this deliciousness, plus the syngas, and a tiny bit more coke. Excuse me. So then, yeah, I mean, the question is just, do I want to make it this big or a little less big? I remember we needed a lot of syngas too, but we didn't have all this gasoline in my last run to power things like smelters and glassworks. So it's possible the gasoline power route is more realistic now. 36 boilers is a lot, I will say. But this doesn't feel that crazy. Like, the numbers are big, but even that's only 10 distillation columns for the biggest part of the build. That's not like absurd. And these numbers are pretty small. So this is totally doable. I don't know. This is a lot of pipes. Decent amount of handcrafting, pretty big area, but it's gonna take water and raw coal and produce an absurd amount of goodies that I will be glad that I have. Like, all the creosote that I need, a lot of coke, and coke is gold in these parts when you're in early game pYanodon's. And then gasoline to power glassworks, which means I probably won't need more syngas, because before I was building lots of syngas stuff. I think I ended up with 2 belts of raw coal going to syngas because I was using syngas to power everything. But gasoline is like triple the fuel value of syngas. So that's kind of the equivalent of making 210 syngas per second. What about acetylene? This makes no acetylene. Acetylene is made from coke, basically, and water in the form of limestone, right? Am I remembering that right? Yeah. So this coke will probably be what I use to make some acetylene at first. Aren't distillation columns huge? I mean, yes, but so is everything in Pi. This is one distillation column. Well, you know, 10 of them is just like, you know, that big. But like, this is Pi, to be expected. Honestly, I think I'm in. The only thing is I'd maybe prefer to use a different raw coal patch for all of this. I don't know if we have one close. Let's do a tiny bit of exploration. I don't know if we have another one close or not. I want to say there's one somewhere that's not that far from the base when I was looking at the map seed. Overbuilding early is better than having to rebuild not much later on. Yeah, but see, the thing, Gaming Strudel, is yes, I agree 100%. And overbuilding too big is also a total, like, trap in Pi, because you do get, you know, massive improvements to recipe productivity almost at every single tech level for a lot of the common items. So for stuff like iron plates, or, you know, heck, we already have an improvement for iron plates. I need to add that to the list. Iron crushing. No car yet. Actually, now that you mention it, I forgot to make one, but look at that. We even have all the ingredients. Except I'm gonna have to handcraft 8 engines, so. Thank you for reminding me that we researched automobilism. Is there quality in Pi now? No. No, there is not. And I'm glad that there is not. Okay, there's another patch of tin. We already have a big one by the base. That's not needed. You know what? I could probably make... Well... I don't know how many resources I have. Do I have enough to craft like a lot more engines? Only 4. That should speed things up a little bit. Come on, give me those engines. Logs? I guess I'm holding a lot of logs. Sure, we'll burn those first. Yay! Much faster. Well. So, assuming you don't Austin Powers yourself within 5 seconds of getting the car going. Oh boy, alright. I've forgotten how to drive. Okay, we found oil sand here. There's nickel, titanium. I think we already found a titanium, so that's our second one, right? Yeah, there's more down there. You really gotta watch the path that you're driving. You can't just watch the mini-map. Got a big chromium patch over here. And then what's that down there? Something. I'm just gonna get out and look. Iron. Okay. Don't need more of that. Though we found like 4 more iron patches, so we're not gonna have any iron problems in this run. We've got that one 12 million, that one 19 million, that one 25 million. So yeah, we're good on iron. Yeah, the coke and gasoline from anthracene recipe is like wicked strong. It's a significant buff to the early game the tar lines. I'm okay with it. It did feel, oh, uranium. It did feel a bit like the tar line was a pretty expensive thing to set up for what was pretty underwhelming results in the early game. I like that it gives gasoline and coke, which means now you have enough gasoline to maybe fuel your glassworks from gasoline. Like it does feel reasonable, but it also is very strong compared to the nothing that it was before. I mean, it was creosote, but you already kind of had too much creosote and not enough of the other stuff. So it's very much a huge buff to the early to mid game. Okay, there's a large ocean. Okay, so here's some raw coal. Very large patch. Kind of far from the base though. That's not that bad. I could totally set everything up on this patch, and there's water up here too, so I wouldn't even need to pump water from home. And water plus coal is gonna give me everything we need for these Helmut chains. The problem is, do I want to ship all of these home, right? Or do I want to just build it closer to home? It'd probably be easier to just ship 3 belts of raw coal than to make all this. Yeah, I'll probably just do the build closer to the base, and then I don't think we can get 3 more belts off of that with burner miners. So I might just have to do trains at home and set it all up over here. The other problem is the ash is going to build up over there until we have better solutions for that, like electric miners. We've even got copper up there. Okay, sweet. Yeah, I mean, I did look at a few map seeds, and this was my favorite, because it had kind of everything we needed within reach. And a second raw coal patch was in my list of requirements that I had in my head. I didn't remember where it was though until we just found it just now, but a sad dead copper patch under the water. Oh yeah, that is a copper underwater copper patch. You know what would be cool is I'm thinking like Captain of Industry, where you can like change terrain elevation. Like what if the copper ore patch was there, and if you were to like slowly empty the water out, you could then have access to the whole copper patch? Yeah, Spider Horse, the problem is the pipe extents, which is a fancy way of saying you can only go 320 units with pipes before you need pumps. And I'm thinking I'd prefer to start, I'll probably build it up here. You know, not like jammed in my base, but I think I'll bring the raw coal down to here-ish to build the tar processing setup. And that way I'll have my gasoline and creosote within striking distance. Sweet. Okay, that's feeling good. We're gonna need to craft about a million things. Why don't I actually, can I copy? I'm gonna try something. I don't know if it's gonna work. Yeah, it technically worked. Where did they go though? Somebody help my poor sad little brain. Why would it paste here and here? What? So I copied 3 lines worth, and then I pasted it, and it didn't put the 3 at the top, it didn't put the 3 at the bottom, it didn't even put the 3 in the middle. It put 1, 2, 3 spaced out, mixed in, not even evenly spaced, because it goes 3 of the old, 1 of the new, 1 of the old, 1 of the new, 1 of the old, 1 of the new, and then 3 of the old. What on earth is that paste? Oh my gosh, that's awful. Alright, 255. I'm putting this on my Hellmod post as well. 255, 10. Alright, pasting function is very odd in Hellmod. It technically worked, but why would it paste like that? That's about... literally anything else could have been better. All 3 at the top, all 3 at the bottom. Probably not in the middle, but yeah, that was weird. Copy. I just want to try it again, just to... yeah, it does the same thing. I wonder if it's trying to like space it out or something, but even that, why would you want it spaced out? I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's trying to do something clever and not doing it. Something's going on. Okay, but what we're gonna do instead is just do this. We're gonna paste them in here. We're gonna delete that. And then we do this at the top. Okay. And then we needed 270 water. But not for you. Oh, that also needs water. Okay. 270 plus 163.3. And then does that basically work it all out? Yeah. Okay. So that worked the way I expected. Nice. So yeah, I mean, I like Hellmod. Hellmod's great. There's just a few weirdnesses that need to be ironed out, and maybe a few bugs. Definitely a few bugs. Anyway, so this is our big build, and I guess the problem is this is a block, so I have to build that part separately. But I should be able to see a summary somewhere, right? That it does oh, I'm trying to remember. Does it not include the sub-factories? Can't remember if it does or doesn't. It's got 5 gasifiers, so it might. Yeah, there's no gasifiers here. Perfect. Okay, good. I think this has changed. I seem to remember something about the summary was bugging me before. I'm having loose memories of this not summarizing the sub-blocks, which meant there was no way to get a tally of all of your buildings in the factory, and now it does give me the tally. Because this is like, I want to know what to craft, is what I'm getting at. So now I can leave this over here, and we can work on crafting all those things. Which is going to be a lot of work. Let me grab some stone, which is down here. We need light. There's no electricity, though. Alright. Probably 300 stone is enough. Yeah. 37 boilers. I have 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 7. That's 37. Although I wonder if boilers get used in these other recipes. They might. Okay, 5 gasifiers. Requires a decent amount of steel. Just gonna pick up some more of all the basics here real quick. We need pipes for a lot of things. We need air core inductors for a decent amount of things. We need small parts. I already grabbed those. And then I need steel, which is where? In a box all the way over here. Have I ever used the oil burners? Yeah, I use the oil burners a lot once I have them. They're just pretty late in the game compared to where I am right now. Alright. 5 gasifiers, 25 DDCs, and 12 tar processing units. Oh my. Well, there's 5 tar processing units. I need more iron again. I need 8 more TPUs. Okay. There's 3 more, so I need 5 more TPUs. There's 5 more TPUs. 25 DDCs. There's 5. And then more iron. Let's see. More small parts, more air cores. I need 20 more. What am I short on? Pipes. No. Copper? Probably copper. There we go. Alright. I think at the end of all this handcrafting will be all of the buildings we need for my tar build. Is that right? Maybe not. Does it round up? How does it do rounding? I think it rounds up on everything, right? It'll be 3, 6, 8, 14 tar units. No, it only has 12. Uh-oh. Is it tallying them and not rounding each one? I bet that's what it's doing. That's arguably unhelpful behavior. Arguably, some people might prefer it that way, because it's like... Or is it even doing that, though? If I added these, that would be 6.2, 8.5, 9.1. No, it's not doing that either. So what is it doing? Because if it's 12, this one could be rounded to 5. But that would be 5 plus 2 is 7. 7 plus 3 is 10. 10 plus 1 is 11. Oh. I apologize. Helmont had it right. I think I counted a destructive distillation column into the mix. That's on me. Okay. So it's doing it the way I expected. Sweet. So anyway, 25 DDCs then is the correct number. 37 boilers. We're gonna need all the inserters, all the belts, so many pipes. Let me dump a few things. Just that we're not gonna need for now. So that I have more space for things I actually build with. When did I make a sap extractor? I do not remember doing that. I'm sure I did, but I have no memory of that place. Right, I'm just gonna take all the pipes. I'm gonna take all the inserters, all the belts. $150 undergrounds. And then we're gonna need a lot of these guys, which I've now built up over time. I'll probably need 150 of the 1-2s. And I'll get 100 of the 1-1s. Okay, I think that's actually a pretty good building space. I'm gonna grab some electric poles. And then, unfortunately, that will be... Uh-oh. I knew something would break. Why are you broken? We're out of ash. What did I do? Hat? Okay. So, you know that thing I said shouldn't be possible? Maybe all the inserters aren't connected. No, you know what? Now that I think about it, can't... Yeah, it's not very foolproof, even if these are all connected. Which, that one definitely is, because the thing's highlighting. They still can spoil while the recipe is happening. Like, if it were to put one in that only has 1 second left before it spoils, then that tree seedling would spoil before the recipe starts crafting. So, my method will prevent a lot of spoilage, but it will not prevent tree seedling spoilage, unfortunately. So we do need to get rid of tree seedlings here. Okay. So that caused that issue. Got it. Cool. Let's get rid of these tree seeds. And the wood shall continue. And I think with that, we will call it a stream. And in the stream tomorrow, we'll be working on this tar build. And we'll hopefully... I don't know how long the tar build will take. It's a pretty big build. It might take all day. But I also need to get... Won't that grab half the output regardless of spoilage? Wait, what did I do? Did I do something bad? I'm hoping we can also get a lot of the other ores like zinc, lead, and tin going. This is filtered for tree seedlings. I think we're fine. If it was not filtered, that would be a problem, but it is filtered, so I think we're fine. And that will never grab tree seedlings because that's not part of the recipe. I think we're good. Cool. All right, well, we're gonna call that a stream. We'll be streaming again tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. And yeah, other than that, I mean, yeah, go mess with Helmod and see if you can figure out why it was doing some of those odd things. I will appreciate any and all input, but I think it's doing some weird things, but hopefully we can get some good feedback to the dev and maybe it'll get fixed. Yeah, you're welcome, Canyon. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks, Spider Horse. I enjoyed the stream as well. Night night, Alor. See you later, Lodro. Oh, we'll write plenty of names on the floor with bricks. Don't you worry, Spider Horse. Alright, see y'all later. Hit me up on the Discord if you've got anything else to say. There's a link in the About section.